Hey everyone, it's Chase Elleby and Joel Williams with Williams Elleby, and today we're going to talk to you about contingency fees, understanding what they are and what it actually means. So Joel, when we say contingency fee, what does that mean?
It means that you are entering into a contract with an attorney where what the attorney gets paid is contingent on the recovery they obtain for you.
Right, so most injury firms will offer free consultation. That's what we do, right? We pick up the phone, we talk to potential clients all the time to get an idea of, one, if they have a case, two, what the value of the case may be, and to answer really any questions that the client or potential client may have. And then from there, we send what we call a fee agreement, which sets the percentage or the amount that the attorney is going to get paid for the services they're going to give to the client, right? So the contingency fees are going to be a percentage of the overall recovery that we're able to get for the client.
Yep. Another thing to understand about a contingency fee and that percentage that Chase was talking about is that percentage is agreed upon ahead of time before the lawyer agrees to represent the client wants to retain the lawyer. That's part of the discussion, is what is the fee percentage going to be? And that can vary from case to case, and it varies from lawyer to lawyer. If you get a more experienced, more skilled lawyer, that fee may be a little higher than if you get somebody straight out of law school. Also, if you have a case like a medical malpractice case or a products liability case, or even a car wreck case where there's a lot of complicated issues and it's going to take a lot of time and effort to get your case resolved, that percentage may be higher. Whereas if it's just a rear end bumper tap and you go to the chiro, for a couple of weeks and you're fine, those are pretty simple cases and that fee percentage could be lower.
Right. I think the number one important factor to remember with a contingency fee is that the lawyer only gets paid unless you get paid, right? If there's a recovery, the lawyer gets paid. If there's no recovery, the lawyer doesn't get paid. So if I sign up a case and I don't get a recovery, I'm not sending a bill to my client asking them to pay for my services. That's built into the percentage of whatever the contingency fee is. And also, while there's no you don't pay anything unless you're successful, there's also no out-of-pocket expenses. Our firm fronts all the expenses for the cases, things like getting medical records, things like open records requests. We put that money into the case, and that money just comes out if the case is resolved. If the case isn't resolved, we don't send a bill and say, hey, we spent $5,000 on your case, we weren't successful, pay us. It doesn't work that way. Again, that risk is built into the contingency fee.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. One thing that I'd like for you to know is that a lot of lawyer advertising can be misleading when it comes to this. Like, you'll see free, or you'll see no pay, or things of that nature that make it seem like that lawyer will work for you for free. But don't be fooled into thinking that a contingency fee means that your lawyer is free, because we're not working for free. We've got families we have to feed, we have employees we have to pay, we have businesses we have to run. And the bigger the law firm, the more expensive it is to run that law firm. So nobody's really working for free unless it's what they call pro bono. Right. Pro bono means that the lawyer is going to donate his or her time to work on the case. What some of those misleading advertisements really mean is that you can get a free consultation, to determine whether the lawyer is going to take your case. And also what they really mean is if the case is lost, then you don't have to pay your attorney anything. That's the advantage of the contingency fee for the client, is that they're not paying by the hour, because let's be honest, if we were billing somebody by the hour, it would be $500 or $600 an hour because of the years of experience and knowledge that we have. So anyway, but there are other advantages and benefits of contingency fees. So you want to get us started?
Well, right. I mean, you were just talking about it. So one of the main benefits of the contingency fee is it allows for folks to access lawyers, right? They don't have to come up with that $5,000 retainer fee, and they don't have to pay a monthly, bill to that attorney for all the time that they've worked. I used to do defense work, and that's always how the model is. You have to pay retainer fee, and then you have to, pay monthly as the bills become due. And those are large insurance companies, large, Fortune 500 companies that are going to be paying those bills, have the resources to pay those bills. The average person who gets injured on the street's not going to have that type of money to pay for these lawyers, so the contingency fee helps and provides access for that.
Yeah, I think anybody that's ever used, say, a divorce attorney or somebody for, let's just say, like criminal defense or anything like that, it seems like your lawyer's always just asking for more money, right? Like, I've already given him or her $20,000 and now they want $5,000 more. Like, we get calls about, what can I do? And I'm like, well, if they've spent $20,000 worth of time on it and they need to spend $5,000 more worth of time on it, you got to pay them that, right? And so it's not fun, and we understand that from a personal injury perspective. We have the option of using these contingency fees so that more people will have access to a lawyer that might not otherwise have access to it if they had to pay the high rates that lawyers, experience, education, and all that can command. Another advantage of a contingency fee is its shared risk. So we talked about earlier, if the case is lost, that you don't have to pay your attorney's fees, you don't have to pay the expenses back. In most contracts, just like ours, you don't have to pay our expenses back if we lose. But the advantage of the shared risk is it incentivizes lawyers to only take cases that they can win, right? So believe it or not, contrary to public opinion, some public opinion, most people don't want to go to court. Right. Most people don't want to file lawsuits. Right. But that initial contingency fee shared risk process encourages lawyers to be very honest with you about whether you have a case that can be successful or not. Because why in the world would we, who only get paid if we win your case, want to take a case and put our own money into it if we weren't confident that we could win that case? Right, and it incentivizes your lawyer to work hard and maximize your recovery. But it also, to your point, we'll let clients know, hey, we reached a brick wall. This is not going to benefit anyone, so let's just kind of cut ties and end the representation and kind of go our separate ways. So yeah, there's that built-in incentive and built-in risk that helps. And I think last but not least, and we sort of already touched on this, but the benefit of the contingency contract again is that there's no upfront cost. There's no retainer. There's no annual or monthly bill where, hey, I need to go get your medical records. It's going to cost me $127.60. Can you send me a check so I can get that? There's nothing like that. There's no upfront cost. There's no risk as far as losing any money. It's just the risk of potentially losing the case, which is more on the attorney. Yep. So to sum it all up, you're going to see contingency fees most of the time when you're dealing with personal injury cases on the plaintiff side. There may be a few other type cases like business fraud cases and things like that where contingency fees come into play. But for the most part, it's going to be the person bringing the claim, their attorney, and them that will work off of this contingency fee case, which again is the amount that the attorney is paid, if anything, is contingent on the outcome of the case. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we hope that has been helpful to you. If you're trying to understand what a contingency fee is, so give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you next week.